Hello everyone. So in the capital asset pricing model, we have seen that we can compute something called as beta, which reflects the relationship between the market movement and the risk in your portfolio. Okay. So now we are going to use that beta and some put options to create hedging strategies for our portfolio. What do I mean by hedging strategies? If you recall, long back we had defined what's a hedger. So hedger is a person who enters into market or who does transactions in the market just to protect himself or herself from the adverse market movements. Okay. Hedger is not interested in profit. Hedger is interested in minimizing the loss and minimizing the risk or uncertainty. Okay. So now we are going to talk about portfolio insurance through index options. So what do I mean by index option? Let me first define that. So we have defined call option, put option on assets. So we can have options on index also. You remember what index is? Index is the indicator of performance of the market, right? So index is technically not an asset, right? It's not some physical asset which you can give or sell or buy. Then what do I mean by index option? So index option is simply like betting on the value of index. Okay, it is simply similar to betting on value of index. So what do I mean by that? So if you have a feeling that say index is going to go down, then you would like to earn some money if your feeling becomes true. Okay, so if it really goes down, then you would like to have some money for correctly predicting the movement of index. So index options give you a choice to do that. Okay, so index options are settled in cash. There is no transaction of asset involved. So what do I mean by that? See, usually what call option gives you? Any call option gives you right to buy something at a predefined price, right? Right to buy at strike price K. Now you can't buy or sell index. So what do you get here? In usual call option, you have right to buy at K and you exercise that right only if ST is greater than K, if the market price is greater than K. So the profit that you receive is maximum of ST minus K, 0, okay, from a usual call option, because you get an asset worth ST by paying just worth K. So it is like you are having this profit. So if you get the asset by paying K and if you sell it immediately in the market, you get this profit. Okay. So in index call options, what you do is, so suppose you are holder of call option on index. So when would you be holder of call option on index? So suppose you felt that the index is going to go up, then you buy call option on index, and if it really goes up, means again you will have a strike price. So K is like strike price for that index option. So by strike price we mean value of the index. Okay. So S naught would become value of the index at time 0. Okay. Value of the index at time 0. So you predict where the index is going to go. So if you feel that the index is going to go up, you buy a call option. Now if you have a call option and if the index really goes up, that is if ST is greater than K, so value of the index at time T is greater than the strike price is like hypothesized value of index, then you receive ST minus K rupees in cash from the writer of the call option. Okay. You receive ST minus K rupees in cash from the writer of the call option. So there is no trading of asset involved. So you just deal with the cash, which is profit or loss. Okay. Similarly, for put option, what would be the case? For put option, situation would be reverse. So for put option, we know ST is less than K, then put option is exercised. Oh, by the way, you receive this in cash means if this is negative, then nothing happens. It's an option, so you don't give writer anything at time capital T. Okay, it's not future, it's an option. So if ST is less than K in a call option, no transaction takes place at time T. Okay, that happens even in usual call option, right? Okay, so in put option situation is reverse. So if ST is less than K, then holder of the option receives K minus ST in cash from the writer of the option or seller of the option. Okay, and of course if ST is greater than K, nothing happens at time T in index put option. Is it okay? So index options are basically based on movement of the index instead of movement of the stock price. Okay. Okay, so now how index options can be used for portfolio insurance, that we are going to see. Okay, so first we will start with some slightly strong assumptions, and then we will we'll see one example, and then we will weaken those assumptions, relax those assumptions, and then we'll actually see the generalized derivation. Okay, so mainly index options are used to limit the downside risk. Okay, to limit downside risk. So as I mentioned, hedger is interested in just reducing the risk. Hedger is not interested in making profit. Okay, and risk of course cannot be completely eliminated. So you are trying to reduce the risk. Okay, so you have some upper bound or cap on the risk that you can take. So you say, okay, for example, if my portfolio is worth say 5 lakh, I can afford to lose at most 50,000. So 10% of the portfolio. I can't afford to lose more than that. So I would do some strategies in such a way that the maximum loss that I'll suffer is 50,000 and not more than that. Okay. So this is used to limit the downside risk. So there are some assumptions. In this example, we'll have some assumptions and some of these will be relaxed later. So what are those assumptions? So suppose you have a well diversified portfolio. What do I mean by well diversified portfolio? You have a good representation from diverse sectors, and as a result your portfolio almost mirrors the market movement. Okay, so what is meant by that? Because of well diversified portfolio, percentage changes in the value of the portfolio, percentage changes in the value of the portfolio can be expected to be approximately the same as the percentage changes in the value of the index. As the percentage change in the value of the index. So if we are saying that they are same, we are actually saying that the beta that we discussed in CAPM model for the portfolio is approximately 1. So portfolio is perfectly mirroring the market, and that would generally happen if you have a well diversified portfolio. Okay. And the third assumption that we are going to have is dividend yield on the portfolio as well as on the index is same. Dividend yield on the portfolio and on the index is the same. Again, if you have a well diversified portfolio, so then this assumption is also not very strong. You can have almost similar dividend yield on the portfolio as well as the index. By the way, when I say dividend yield, I mean the rate. Okay, yield is rate of at which the continuous compounding is done. Okay, the dividend for dividend. So as I said, we'll first take an example, and then from that example we will generalize to the derivation and get some formula. We are mainly going to use put options. Why? Because we saw that we would buy call options if we feel that the index is going to go up. And if index is going to go up, and if I have a portfolio which anyway reflects the market movement, I won't be I won't be worried about my portfolio. Okay, I would be worried if I feel that the index is going down. So if index is going down and I'm worried about that, then to minimize my loss, I would buy put options and not the call options. Okay, and index options, not the options on any particular company's stocks. So suppose current index value S0 is suppose 1000. Okay, current index value is suppose 1000, and current value of the portfolio beta, is 1. That was our assumption. And current worth of the portfolio is suppose 5 lakh. Current worth of the portfolio, let me denote it by say P0, is suppose 5 lakh. Okay, and one option contract consists of 100 options. Okay, one option contract consists of 100 options. Okay, so what is portfolio worth in terms of index? So portfolio worth we saw is 5 lakh. Okay, so it is 500 times the index, because index was 1000. Okay, so because of this we probably need 500 put options. Okay, so from where did I get this? We'll see the calculations in detail, don't worry. So we will see what happens if I take 500 put options. Okay, then you will understand why 500. Okay, so suppose let us say time duration is 3 months. So I am worried about next 3 months. So I don't want my portfolio worth to fall too much in the next 3 months, even if index goes down by a large amount. Okay, that is my A. Is the objective clear? So T is 3 months, and as I said, we'll have some upper limit. Okay, so suppose we can take risk of 10%. Okay, so percentage decrease in portfolio that we can afford is suppose 10%. That we are willing to take risk of, because you can't have 0%. Some risk you'll have to take. So this is say 10%. 10% means even if my portfolio worth, so P capital T, P at the end of 3 months, even if it becomes up to 4,50,000, it is okay with me. Okay, original worth is 5 lakh, up to 4,50,000 is okay. Okay, but if it goes below 4,50,000, then I am in trouble, so I don't want that. Okay, now if I am okay with that, what would it mean in terms of index? So current worth of index is 1000, right? And we are saying that index and portfolio worths are more or less in sync. The beta is 1. So 10% decrease in 1000 would mean 900. Okay, So if portfolio worth up to 4,50,000 is okay, then index going down to 900 is fine with me. Okay, index going down to 900 is fine with me. I am not saying ST equal to 900. Okay, ST equal to, if ST is equal to 900 or above 900, then I am okay with it. I don't worry about it. But if portfolio worth drops below 4,50,000, then it's a trouble for me. And when would that happen? That would happen when index falls below 900. Okay, because we are saying that they are in sync. So 10% decrease here is equivalent to 10% decrease there. So if index falls below 900, then I am in trouble. So I don't want index to fall below 900. Hence, I would choose strike price of my put option as 900. Okay, so I would go for buying those put options whose strike price is 900. So that even if the actual value of the index falls below 900, because of the put options, I can get the transactions done with 900 as the index. Okay. Is it clear how did I arrive at this strike price? Okay. It came from this decrease that we were willing to take. So this number is given in the question. This 10% is given in the question. Okay. So this is the risk that the investor is willing to take. Okay. So what happens now? So suppose the investor buys 100 put options, 500 we had derived. So 500 put options with strike price equal to 900. So they are index put options. 500 index put options with strike price equal to 900 and time equal to 3 months. And let us worry about only European put options. Okay, let's not worry about American. Okay, so how would it help? A couple of things. We know that price of an option is very small compared to the actual price of the asset. So here in these calculations we are going to ignore the price of the put options, means ignore the amount that the investor spent in doing this transaction. Okay. So now at the end of 3 months, suppose index drops to 880 instead of 900. Okay. So original index was 1000. We were suspecting that it may go further below, and it actually did go below. So suppose it went to 880. Then what happens in my portfolio? The index worth 1000 becomes 880 and my portfolio worth is 5 lakh. So if my portfolio is perfectly mirroring the index, then this becomes 880 into 5 lakh divided by 1000. So this is 4,40,000. So my portfolio worth would drop to 4,40,000. And I don't want that. I want at least 4,50,000. So, but what I have is I now have put options. Okay. So those put options could give me something. So I have 500 put options with strike price equal to 900. So can I use those? Yes, the index has dropped to 880. So from put options, from each put option, I would receive K minus ST in cash. K is 900, ST is 880 because index has dropped to 880. So I would receive this much in cash and I have 500 put options. So what is the total amount received? So total amount received from these put options would be 900 minus 880 means 20 into 500 because I have 500 put options, which is 10,000. So this 10,000, if I add here, my portfolio worth now becomes 4,50,000. Is it okay? And that was the amount that was acceptable for me. So basically what is happening is whatever loss I suffer from the market, that loss gets compensated via put options. Okay. So that is what is meant by portfolio insurance through index options. So you buy put options in such a way that the loss in your portfolio can be compensated via gain from the put options. Is it clear? Is the example clear? Okay. Now we will try to derive general formula on how to get the number of options. In fact, here you might have understood why 500. Okay. Why 500 you might have understood. Because of this ratio. So we want these things to get compensated. So this ratio becomes my number of put options. So now we will try to slightly generalize it and we will derive this number. Okay, we will derive the formula for this number and we will derive it in such a way that it should work only if even if beta is slightly different from 1. Okay, because it may not be possible to maintain a portfolio beta to be perfect at 1. So our formula should work even if beta is slightly different. And why people go for index options? I mean, I could actually go for options on individual companies, but as I mentioned in the earlier lecture also, averages have less variance. So index is less volatile compared to prices of the individual shares. Okay. Average has less variance is coming from our basic statistics. Variance of X bar is individual variance divided by N, even if they are IID. Okay. Hence, index values are less volatile, so index options are preferred. Okay. So now we have to go for general derivation. So right now, for the sake of simplicity, we will assume risk-free rate of interest to be 0. Okay. Why? Because we know that CAPM model tells me that excess gain or loss is in the market can be related to excess gain or loss in the individual security. So that excess thing I don't want to worry about right now. So I am taking R equal to 0. Okay. And S naught is initial value of the index at time 0. S naught is initial value of the index. P naught is initial portfolio worth at time 0. And K is strike price of that option. So strike price for the index. And beta is suppose beta of the portfolio. Now we are not going to stick to 1. So beta is beta of the portfolio. And N is the number of put options that we need to buy. Okay. N is the number of put options that are bought. Do I need something else? Let me check. Okay, so we will use some notations from capital asset pricing model also. So RM is expected return on the market, that is index. So RM is expected return on the market, and RP is expected return on the portfolio. Market means index and RP is expected return on the portfolio. Okay. So we have to derive formula for N. So we need to decide how many put options should be bought. Okay. So as I mentioned in this example, we need to compensate loss from the index going down via profit from the put options. Okay. So if the market goes down, see, if the market goes down till K, then we are okay with it. K we derived as the loss that we are willing to take. Okay. So if the market goes down to K minus Y, if it goes below K, then what happens is we are worried about. So suppose the market goes down to K minus Y, Y of course has to be positive, then return on the index would be how much? Return on index would be K minus Y minus S naught upon S naught. Okay, return on the index would be K minus Y upon S naught, K minus Y minus S naught upon S naught. So this is final value minus initial value divided by initial value. Okay, so this is like RM. Okay, return on the market. And return on the portfolio would be P new minus P naught upon P naught. Okay. Okay. And what is the payoff from put options? Payoff from put options would be N, because N is the number of put options, K is the strike price, and actual market price of the index, market value of the index is K minus Y. So payoff from put options is N minus Y. So we want this NY to compensate for the loss in the portfolio. So how much is the loss in the portfolio? So let us go to CAPM model. CAPM model tells me that if R is equal to 0, then portfolio worth will be beta times, portfolio return would be beta times the market return. Okay, so portfolio return is P new minus P naught upon P naught. You can actually use PT also, P at time T. So this should be beta times RM. RM we wrote K minus Y minus S naught upon S naught. Okay. So what is the loss from portfolio? Loss from portfolio would be P naught minus P new. This is the amount of loss. Okay, because P new is, we are considering the scenario where P new is less than P naught. Okay, so P naught minus P new is beta P naught upon S naught into K minus Y minus S naught. Correct? I am just rearranging this equation and with a minus sign. Okay. We want this loss to get compensated by the profit from the put options. So we want minus beta P naught upon S naught K minus Y minus S naught to be equal to NY. Okay. Now generally, I am not saying always, but generally strike price is very similar to S naught. Okay, because see, today the worth of the asset is something, and you are worried that this worth might change in future in a direction in which you don't want, hence you buy option. Correct? So current worth is generally acceptable to you, and hence in most of the cases strike price is equivalent to current worth. Not exactly equal, but more or less similar. So if I do that, then this K and S naught would get cancelled. So what I'll get is beta P naught upon S naught is equal to N, because Y also would get cancelled from both the sides. Okay. Hence, the number of put options that one should buy is beta P naught upon S naught. Okay. And that's what we did there. In the example, we were assuming beta to be 1. So P naught upon S naught was the ratio that we took for deciding number of put options. Okay. So this is the number of put options that should be bought in order to get what do we call insurance against the adverse market movements. Okay. If we are talking about put option contracts, then we need to divide this by 100, because one option contract is worth 100 options. Okay. So this is the number. Let us see one more example now. with a different beta. So suppose you have some portfolio with beta equal to 2, and now we will bring in the interest also, r equal to 12% per annum, and suppose we have dividend yield also. Okay, so we are complicating situation a bit. Dividend yield on both index and portfolio is 4%. Okay, and time is 3 months, so we are worried about next 3 months. Initial portfolio worth is again suppose 5 lakh, and initial index value is again say 1000, and I mean these numbers are easy for calculation. Okay, so that's why I'm sticking to those. So we have to see what happens in different cases using CAPM model, and what happens if you have put options. Okay, so using CAPM model, what we know is excess return in the index can be related to excess return in the portfolio. Okay, so suppose ST becomes 960. Okay, the index value becomes 960. Then what is the return on the index? Return on the index is 960 minus 1000 divided by 1000. Okay, initial value. So this is minus 4%. Okay, but we also know that there is some dividend on the index, so that can compensate slightly for the loss. So dividend on the index, we have said that dividend is 4% per annum, right? Let me check. Yeah, this dividend, okay, I didn't mention per annum, but this is per annum. So dividend is 4% per annum, interest rate is 12% per annum. So for a period of 3 months, we will take 1/4 of that. So dividend yield would be 1% for 3 months. So dividend yield on the index is 1%. As a result, total return on the index, because you got dividend, something got compensated. So total return on the index would be minus 4 plus 1, that is minus 3%. Okay, and risk-free rate of interest is 12% per annum. So for 3 months it would be 3%. Risk-free rate of interest would be 3% per annum. 3% for 3 months. And our CAPM model says expected RP minus R is beta times expected RM minus R, correct? So let us substitute some values here. So expected RP would be R plus beta times expected RM minus R. So this R is 3% plus beta is 2. Expected RM we just saw is minus 3, correct? And then this R is again minus 3. So this is 3 plus minus 6 into 2, so minus 12. So this is minus 9. Okay, expected RP is minus 9%. Everything is in percent. And you also have dividend again at 1%. And here we know that when we are calculating asset worth, dividend yield is to be subtracted. Okay, so total return on portfolio including the dividend. So here dividend goes in exactly the opposite manner. So there we added, here we have to subtract. Total return on portfolio including dividend would be -9 -1, so -10%. Okay. As a result, value of the portfolio would fall to 4,50,000. 10% loss means 4,50,000. Okay. So you can see here, because beta is now higher than 1, only the 4% loss in the market became 10% loss here. Okay. And now in such a scenario, your calculation for the number of put options to be brought would change. Your strike price would change. Because here, for going to 4,50,000, index became just 960. So you will have to worry about strike price of 960. Now you can't invest in put options with strike price 900 because your loss would be much higher. So even with strike price 960, your portfolio worth is going to fall to 4,50,000. Okay. So when R is non-zero, you'll have to make adjustments accordingly. Got it? When R is non-zero, you'll have to see how change in the index affects change in the portfolio, and then you'll have to decide strike price of the option accordingly. The number of put options brought won't change. It would remain same, beta beta P naught upon S naught, but the strike price would change. Is it okay? So now you try to calculate that if you actually have a put option worth 960 rupees, then can you compensate for loss, when the index falls below 960. Okay, for example, take say index value to be 920, calculate what is the portfolio worth in that scenario. I'll write the final answer. The portfolio worth becomes 4,10,000, and then can you actually have put options with this strike price, 960 strike price, to compensate for this 40,000 loss. Okay, that you have to see. So that is your homework. Okay, so let me stop here for the time being. We'll continue in the next lecture. Thank you.